Hello, I hope you're doing well. We are reading through Romans and we're in chapter 4. And as I told you before, Romans is basically like a constitution of salvation. It tells us, Paul goes through in this letter, just explaining the salvation through faith in Jesus Christ and the implications of that, what it does and doesn't mean. So, in chapter 4, Paul is referring to Abraham, kind of the father of the faith. The father of the faith. God called him to leave his country, and he did. And he believed God, and it was counted to him as righteous. In fact, that's exactly what it says over in Genesis. And it says it here, Paul quotes it in Romans chapter 4, verse 3. He said, Abraham believed God, and it was credited to him as righteousness. He believed what God promised he said he would do. He said, leave this land. I will make you into a great nation, give you many descendants. I will bring forth a seed, a promised one. And we know that is Jesus Christ to save humanity. Abraham just believed it and he followed God. He entered into what God was doing. That's true faith. But over the years, even the centuries, people, descendants of Abraham, some of those promised ones that God had promised to Abraham, they began thinking, well, just because our forefather Abraham were his children, we are all right with God. Well, Paul is explaining that that's not what this is all about. It's through faith in Jesus Christ and following that justification in a righteous life. But anyway, we'll get into that a little bit later. But he goes on in verse 12. He says, he is the father, being Abraham. Abraham is the father of the circumcised, who not only are circumcised, but also follow in the footsteps of the faith of our father Abraham. In other words, what he's saying is, yes, Abraham is their father, but they have to follow in faith, not rest on the fact that they got some cool descendant in the past that was cool with God. Well, that don't cut it. So anyway, so take that to heart. Let it remind us today that we are called not on the faith of our grandfathers and grandmothers, but we're called into a personal faith with Jesus Christ to follow him, to love him, to let him love through us. And that means loving others. So God bless you. Have a great day.